Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Creative Birth Strategies Podcast. This is Joe Scarice, co-founder and co-host, live on Clubhouse, live on our podcast on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And then we load up to Spotify, and we're live everywhere. So I want to thank everybody for coming in this morning. Another great week of real estate investing and real estate opportunities. So we'll get here started with our moderators up here and get rocking and rolling. It'll just take us a quick minute. Got to get some people all set up here. Make moderator. And we'll start inviting people in. So we'll get that started as well. So we have another great subject today, which we're going to be discussing mastering your real estate networking skills, which is something I personally really enjoy. I am a true networker, so this is close to the heart. I'm just going to invite some people in on Clubhouse and get a little rocking and rolling here. Some announcements as well that we're going to be coming up with in just a minute. Just give me a quick second so I can invite some people in. And the moderators, please invite your connections in on the Clubhouse. We'll get started here in just a few minutes here. All right. Let's get rocking and rolling. So, good morning, everyone. Really excited about having you guys here today. We got some announcements as well with some great moderators. My co-founder and co-host Jared L. Perkins is on here as well. If this is the first time you're in the room, welcome. And if you've been here rocking with us week after week, welcome back. This is where we have real conversations about real estate, not just the highlight reels, but we talk about deals that are actually being found, structured, underwritten, funded, negotiated, repositioned. We're also talking about today's market, right? And today's conversation is especially important because we're talking about something that can make you money without buying a single piece of property, right? Your network. Mastering the real estate networking skills. You probably heard the phrase, your network is your net worth. But here's the question we're going to challenge everyone with today. Are you actually building a network, or you're just collecting contacts? Because there's a huge difference. A full phone of contacts isn't necessarily a network. Thousands of social media followers aren't necessarily a network. Going to networking events and handing out business cards isn't necessarily networking. A real network is made up of relationships, credibility, trust, resources, knowledge, and people who know what you do and know where to call you. And in real estate, one relationship can completely change the trajectory of your business. The person could be be a private lender like myself, the next buyer, the next seller, the next agent, the next contractor, your next attorney, your next referral partner, or the person who brings you a deal that nobody else even knows exists. So today, we're going to all dive and break down how successful real estate professionals intentionally build those relationships and turn conversations into opportunities. But before, I'm going to get into today's main topics that happened over the last couple weeks since our last podcast. I think we always want to kind of come up with some hot topics of the market. The Federal Reserve is, the first one would be interest rates and the cost of capital. Interest rate, the Federal Reserve held its federal funds target range at 3.5 to 3.75 in its meetings. Our rates are coming down. They have come down somewhat over the past couple of weeks. They're leveling off, but we still have a massive inventory issue. I am concerned that we probably might have a medium landing when this all said and done, as REOs and foreclosures hit the market, and people just stay away from buying properties in the fall going into the winter. It's definitely going to be an investor play, the fourth quarter in the market. So it's going to be very interesting to see where that goes and how investors such as myself and capital partners are underwriting more conservatively. Seeing seller financing conversations maybe coming up a little more. Private lenders becoming more important in the space. Are investors negotiating harder on purchase price? And does BRRRR still work when the refinance isn't as attractive as investors originally projected? Because that's an important point. You can't underwrite today's deal using tomorrow's hope on interest rate. The deal needs to make sense based on realistic numbers today. Another discussion, inventory is giving buyers more options. I am seeing an increase on days on the market in a lot of markets. Certain markets are still very tight. And again, it all depends on where you're at regionally throughout the country. Some areas is 4 months, some areas 1 month, some areas weeks. So, you really need to kind of have conversations with professionals in the field and leveraging them in your market, whatever market you're deciding to focus on, whether you're going to play real estate agent, real estate investor. And again, for the agents in the room, this matters too, because when inventory increases, your value isn't just opening a door. Your value becomes helping your client understand which property is actually the opportunity. Next topic that I wrote down here: small investors are still very much in the game. One very interesting statistic has found the small investors have purchased about 11.3% of homes sold in 2025. And small investors accounted for roughly 2/3 of the investor purchases. Large investor purchasing was down sharply from 2021 level. Think about that. Because constantly here, the big institutions are buying everything, but those numbers tell us they're still significantly actively coming from the smaller operators. So what advantages does the small investor have that the institutional investor doesn't? I think one answer brings us directly into today's subject: relationships. A local investor can know the neighborhood, know the agent, know the wholesaler, know the contractor, know the landlord, know the attorney, know the lender, know the property manager, and sometimes know about the opportunity before it even becomes broadly available. So my last topic before we go into our subject is rental strategy and cash flow. There's another conversation BRRRR investors should be having. Right now, national median asking rents have declined year over year for the last 35 consecutive months, as if it's in June's reports. So that's important because BRRRR investors can simply assume I'll renovate it, refinance it, rent it, and the numbers will work. You have to understand your specific rental market. And, because real estate is hyper local. National headline doesn't tell you whether your property on your street, your rent level makes sense. And guess what? Some of the best local information comes from your network: property managers, leasing agents, local landlords, contractors, investors, and agents. So let's dive into our subject today: mastering your real estate networking skills, and then we're going to open it up to the moderators. I really think networking isn't asking what can this person do for me. It's asking how can we create value for each other. Stop networking with only people who do what you do. Again, you need to find other people to build around your circle, right? But some of the strongest networks are cross-industry networks. As an investor, I've made relationships with agents, mortgage professionals, hard money lenders, private lenders, wholesalers, contractors, attorneys, accountants, CPAs, insurance professionals, appraisers, property managers, title professionals, home inspectors, other investors, business owners, and community leaders, because every person knows somebody you don't. Who are 5 people every new investor should have in their phone, right? You got to think about that. And 3 questions that change your networking. What are you working on right now? What are your biggest challenges that you're running into? And who would be your most valuable person for you to meet? You're not pitching, you're not learning, you're not identifying problems. You're just looking for ways to create value and turning contacts into relationships. This is where most networking fails. You go to an event, you meet 20 people, you exchange information, you go home and do nothing. That's not networking. That's collecting contacts. The real work starts after the introduction. So I like a very simple system. Within 24 to 48 hours, you need to be reconnecting, emailing, texting, connecting on LinkedIn, following them on Facebook or their business page. Mention them and, hey, it was great meeting you in a follow-up text or email. So stay in touch with these people. The relationship bank account, right? Every relationship has a bank account. Every time you help somebody make an introduction, share knowledge, send an opportunity, or follow through something that you promised, you make a deposit. Okay, so networking as well, at real estate investor events are very important. Yeah, I'm constantly looking at different events to go to, not just going to any event. I look who's speaking at the event. I look at the subject matter. I look at the type of attendance. I evaluate. I literally could be at 3 or 4 events a night, but I have to only pick one. So you got to think about networking as a true art. Okay, stop, and then agents and investors stop treating each other like transactions. Right? What makes an investor valuable to an agent? Consistency, clear criteria, proof of funds, realistic expectations, and fast communication. And what makes an agent valuable to an investor? Market intelligence, access relationships, comps, negotiating skill, understanding seller motivation, and recognizing opportunities that others buyers overlook. And then social media is everything. Like Yordell and I were just talking about the podcast, where we're going toward with the AI video. Will we be doing podcasting next year? We are scheduled out for the rest of the year, first and third Sunday, but we're looking at other opportunities. What makes the most amount of sense? Maybe we'll go to Fridays and do a Friday night wind down at 5 o'clock or something like that. We're going to change things up. We're looking at different things where it makes sense. You got to stay fresh. You can't be stagnant, okay? And turning the conversations into deals. I challenge the audience to think about what we're talking about here, because the person who connects the room eventually becomes one of the most valuable people in the room. You need to be the gracious host at every event you go to, whether you are or you're not. So these are some things to kind of start off in introducing our moderators. We'll get started first with Mr. Yardell Perkins. Welcome, Mr. Perkins. Long time no talk to before the podcast. Yardell and I have been colleagues and friends for over a decade. We've done thousands of different things together. We're going to an event tonight on AI, funny enough. So, Yardell, give your thoughts on the mastering of your real estate networking skills. Great. Yardell at first was extremely introverted, trying to go to different events, and he's obviously evolved. And we've coordinated events together. We've co-hosted. We're co-hosting some events this fall. We have a great wine and cheese mixer at my wife's wellness center and school for massage therapy, first Friday in October. Very excited about that. And then we usually host a holiday party, during the holidays as well in Philadelphia. And we'll do our podcast, of course. We at one time ran like 5 or 6 events a month, but it's exhausting because I want to be at other events too. So I took the step in just recognizing of being a better networker and having better follow-up skills. And I think Yardell has found that opportunity. He's obviously going to start becoming a capital partner of Built Lending, which I'm very proud to hear, and look forward to the marketing campaign for him, because I think he'll do quite well, because he's been in my company or other people's company like myself for over a decade. Yardell, any thoughts to follow? No, thank you. As always, I think your networking skills have accelerated to a point where I could trust you working a room on my behalf if I'm at another event. So that's big. It's very important in this space. And I'll tell you, the networking itself, and thank you, Ernell, the networking itself has allowed me to get into areas of space that I typically would not have typically been in front of. Like coming up this fall, I'll be speaking at the Five Star Conference in Dallas, Texas. I will also be speaking at I will be speaking in the STR Pocono Conference in the Poconos in September. I'll be also speaking at the NADP Default Pro as well on a panel in St. Petersburg, Florida. And then I'll be speaking at the National Association, Tax Lien Association in Philadelphia at the Ritz-Carlton in October as well. Because based on my networking skills, based on my discussions in private lending and staying in front of people as an educator and giving back constantly from a marketing and networking perspective, I've been offered these opportunities, which I really feel very lucky and blessed. And I really look forward to a lot of these because I'm going to meet people I never met before. I mean, I'm looking at the unknown at almost every one of these events. I mean, the Five Star Conference in Dallas, there's going to be 1,500 real estate agents throughout the country there to talk about bank REOs and foreclosures. That is the perfect networking environment. You just gave me a big tent to sit under to hang out with people that are like-minded, that are primarily investor friendly. And the workshop that we're offering is on being the investor friendly real estate agent in 26 going into 27. So what better there is to master my networking skills with a very strong presentation for real estate professionals that will be engaged with me for 45 minutes to an hour. I think this is very important to think about. You got to get in front of people. You got to get comfortable in your skin and talk about what your passion is. And that's part of mastering your real estate networking skills. Melissa, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and what a surprise to see on the NADP Friday coffee chat this past Friday.
Oh, that group. So thankful for you for even mentioning it, Joe. I just kind of jumped in. And to piggyback off what Joe is saying with regards to networking before I actually introduce myself, because he gave that segue, I'm I was getting bored here in West Michigan. I was feeling that stagnant feeling, Joe. So, and at first I jumped in, I was going to do the sponsorship, and then I second guessed myself. Oh my gosh, should I do it? I was having some financial difficulties at that moment, but I got over that hurdle now. So I'm going full bore in. I'm sponsoring that Monday night. I'm really excited about this group because they're going to teach me a lot. And hey, Clubhouse, I am Melissa King, founder of Busy Bee Virtual Solutions and Care Bee Virtual Support Services. I am also a state of Michigan notary and licensed real estate referral agent here up in the Mitten, as well as a national certified guardian. All three of those industries coincide with real estate investing. I also am a real estate investor with my self-directed IRA. I am not a CPA or an attorney or a financial advisor. What I've done is I've built my businesses around being remote office and business management problem solvers. We help you organize today to protect tomorrow from fraud and, yes, from yourself. We need to help from ourselves sometimes, don't we, Joe?
Yeah.
Because we have to be consistent. And how do you do that? You ask people for help. We can't do everything ourselves, especially in the real estate industry. I'm around a lot of landlords, a lot of DIYers. They continue to try and do things by themselves. They do not ask me for help when they should. They're going to chat, and then I'm cleaning up the messes in the back end. But that's job security, right, Joe?
Yeah.
I'll take that. Everybody, yeah, absolutely. Networking isn't about just collecting contacts. I have learned that over the last 2 years with you, Joe. I took the wrong fork in the road, and now I'm back with you. I cannot thank you enough for your guidance. And I'm going to say this right now, because it was a bad fork. I had to double back. And how do you double back? You pay attention to your documents, you pay attention to your digits, and that's how you make good decisions. And last thing I want to say is you don't have to build the biggest hive, you just got to build the right one. Be known, be useful, be memorable, and then be consistent. And most important, be trustworthy, because that's how you're going to maintain your relationship. What did you call it? Relationship bank account. I wrote that one down. I loved it, Joe. I can't wait to see you and Donna, right? She's
Yep.
going to be there?
Yeah, she will be.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Listen, it kind of, they approached to me because they heard about me teaching the workshop at Five Star. They've seen everything online from a social media perspective. But I'm still not astonished. I'm not surprised anymore by networking events. I've been to several events this past month because I'm thinking about obviously something with my real estate licenses to kind of get things in motion with that from a listing agent perspective.
Right.
And I went and met I went to a grand opening of a real estate office that was going to be more virtual. I went to another real estate networking event with another office. And I talked to whoever leadership that was there that could be influenced in obviously training perspective, moving my licenses, etc. I met with a total of 4 people, 4 different people. The least likely person I have a coffee meeting with at 10:30 on tomorrow morning. Okay. The networking follow-up skills of the real estate professional today is horrendous. Not even poor, horrendous. I have a I have a
I agree. Yeah.
I had a client that came to an event with 50 to 60 supposed real estate investor agents at a networking event, a cigar event. He's a very qualified borrower. Okay. He's in buying mode to enhance and scale his real estate portfolio. One person followed up with him. There were 60 real estate people in the room. Yeah, it's just the whole premise of follow up and follow through is wiped away. I've never seen a more poor response time of a real estate professional in any field than today. Terrible.
So really right now, if we all just follow up in the 24, 48 hours, we're going to be ahead of the pack almost immediately.
I've never seen such a poor response time by real estate professionals in my career. And this is the thing. I don't think anybody's that busy. Okay. I think people are either working full time and doing this kind of as a side thing because I can't figure out any other reason why they wouldn't follow up with people that could potentially put them in front of more people to potentially get them more business opportunities. But listen, I'm not here to dissect the psychology of every human being I meet at events. But I mean, I met the owner of this one real estate company, the actual owner. I sent him a personalized email text through LinkedIn because he didn't have a business card. Go figure. Okay. And nothing, like zero, nothing. The trainer, I'll say parentheses, the trainer of the company, he was going to get back to me, never got back to me. So, okay, great. They have a great office at the Fiddler Club. So what? But if I can't get anybody on the phone and nobody really has professional courtesy, why would I want to be in their circle? I mean, I met this one young man. We've known each other. We go back and forth, and he actually gets what I do. So I'm going to meet him. Now, I did get a follow-up from somebody that's a go-getter in the title space that put me in touch with the HR department of that original company that I went to weeks ago. So I have a meeting with them on Tuesday. But think about it. I'm not even going to name any of these companies because we know all of them, by the way. Okay. But they're just piss poor. Yeah. They all come in like, oh, like they're curing cancer and doing open heart surgery. They ain't doing shit. Their networking and marketing skills are an F for failure. I don't know if you see that out in your market in the Midwest and, upper Midwest.
I'm bored. And I'm guilty of not doing the right follow-up, so shame on me, and thank you for calling me out. That's just, it's like when I get up to the tee at the golf, that first tee, if I don't hit it right the first time, I get mad and I'm gonna knock it out of the park. You motivated me, really, honestly, and who cares?
Great. Thank you, Melissa. Look forward to seeing you in Florida. I think that's going to be quite exciting. We just booked our rooms. We're going to go a little early, so we're going to be there probably Friday, and then stay till Tuesday night, or Wednesday morning. Driving.
Cousin in Spring Hill, Tennessee, on the way down, we visit a sister-in-law.
Wow. Wow. God bless you. All right. So we're going to keep this moving along. Mastering Your Real Estate Networking Skills is Joe Scarice, co-host and co-founder of the Creative Birth Strategies podcast here on Clubhouse, as well as our podcast on our website, which is at creativebirthstrategies.com. We have over 160 episodes on that website live for you to review and follow up with, and go back to some of the subjects that might help sharpen your skills. And again, we're here first and third Sunday every month, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We offer some complimentary events throughout the quarter. I'll be speaking at various events this fall. Love to meet some of you, if possible, at any one of those. So again, I want to thank the moderators this morning. They give their time back in this podcast, providing their insight toward the subject matter. And most of it's pretty unscripted because they're not being prepared with a write-up on this at all. Stephen, good morning. Welcome. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and thoughts to mastering your real estate networking skills. Yep. Agents where it's confusing where they should land with their real estate license. Is it technology? Is it training? Is it social media? Is it the broker? Are they going to be strictly investor for themselves? Are they going to list properties? They're going to be a buyer agent. I think people need to focus more than ever before in this space from a networking perspective. There's only so much you can do per day. Like we're doing this podcast twice a month. I'm starting to lean toward doing more AI video and changing up the podcast by the end of the year because I just think a change would be good. You have to be open to change when it comes to networking and mastering those skills. And you can't, when you go to an event, you got to be ready to go and talking with people. Like I don't understand why people go to an event to be an asshole. Like I don't get that. Like they master in being an asshole. So like I don't understand why they do that. It's unnecessary fodder. Then stay home. If you're going to be an asshole, go somewhere else. Go to the asshole networking group. So I don't get it. Like you only have so much time in a networking event from 6 to 8. You want to make it work. I mean, Steve, am I off? I do, and this is how I master my networking week. I look at my schedule week to week. Which event is going to be the most impactful and walk away with the most amount of opportunity with others for my 2 hours in the evening and my travel time? Can I coordinate several events, tying it in all together from a travel perspective? I don't think people do that, and they should. I like to get to an event early. I like to be there a half hour early, whether I'm the host or not. I am not surprised anymore when hosts. I like to get to an event. Hold on a second. I like to be there early. Hold on. Whether I'm the host or not. I am not surprised anymore. I don't know what's going on. I'm having a. Second. It's very important to be able to understand the market. I think you have to be able to evaluate the event quickly because you only have usually most events start at 6 o'clock, and then it's networking from 6 to 6:45. You need to work that room like a ninja and get in front of everybody as quickly as possible, but as professionally as possible. And that's the secret. That is a secret that, a lot of people do not understand how to do. You're not there just to sit there and drink your soda. You're there from 6 to 8 to conquer, network, and follow up with everybody you met. Get them to text you. If they don't come with a business card, which is no big surprise anymore, get them to text them their full name in the email, so you could send a follow up to them. Right? Connect with them on LinkedIn. Follow them on Facebook. You don't have to connect with them on Facebook. Follow them on Facebook. Follow their business. Let them know that you did that as well. There's certain things that you could take the time between the time you meet them and the next morning to make an impression. Now, Do I send out 10 to 15 emails a day from people that I'm meeting, or 20 people a day or whatever? Yeah. Do I get a lot of callbacks or emails back? No. Do I get specific ones back? Yes. And those are the ones you need to focus in on. That's mastering your networking skills. Not everybody wants to work with you. And it just works that way. It's okay. You'll be fine. Everybody will be fine on this call. But at the end of the day, you need to be consistent and continuous with your networking. There's some markets I went to that I felt were not worth and cost benefit to go back to. I saw zero results, not even a phone call. Okay, so why keep going back to somewhere where nobody's actually either doing anything in the industry or they're just not finding me as a connection for themselves? So you got to also look at markets and maybe change things up. I don't try to go to the same event every month. I try to rotate them around. I mean, I could tell you on any given night during the month, there's 4 events in 4 different places within 150 miles of where I stand. And to me, I rather rotate that than bury a hole into one, because I really feel like you start seeing the same people. And let's be honest, not everybody's active. Some people just want to get out of the house. So you got to really be able to identify bodies in the sense of your network and networking with people. The relationships are built by following up and connecting with them online and staying in touch with them and putting them into your CRM from a text or email campaign. These are some additional thoughts. Dave, good morning and welcome. Brief overview, who you are, what you do, and thoughts to mastering your real estate networking skills.
Joe, good morning.
thinking about another organization that we actually attended the event, and I went to a couple of their events just to kind of get a feel of it because they've been kind of asking me to sponsor their events. And and that's also another thing when it comes to sponsoring and networking. Sometimes you're better off not sponsoring the event and just being a rogue networker at the physical event. And I'm going to tell you why. Because one, a lot of these networking groups that are holding these events, the people that put these events on are not marketing experts. I went to a physical event this past week and they had vendors all around the room, and the leadership thanked themselves for the event. They did not thank any one of the vendors at all, except like one key sponsor. He got a couple of minutes, and I have no idea why he was the key sponsor, but whatever the case may be, is there had to be over a dozen sponsors in the room at tables, and the board of this organization felt compelled to only recognize and pat themselves on the back and never recognize the rest of the vendors and thank them and recognize their names and who they are in the room, in a full room that they most likely paid $500 for a table. I paid $35 for the same room, and I got to talk to probably 4 or 5 times more people than they did. Why? They are stationary. Me, I'm moving around, introducing myself, I left my phone purposely with my bag where I could just work freely and network with people. I'm not looking to take pictures with people. I'm looking just to network with people and follow up with them, exchange cards, having some brief conversations and some follow up. And when a young lady came out to me, they asked me about another event that they're having coming up in October. I said, listen, my company policy is if I'm not presenting, you're not getting my sponsorship dollars. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed constructively by this group. They did not recognize any of the vendors. So where was the networking for the vendors? To stand at a table and say hello to 2 or 3 people that were willing to stop by and grab a free piece of candy? That's not networking. That's nothing. That's fodder. Okay. So you need to know how to separate the difference also as a sponsor and then also being a networker. Okay. And most of these organizations don't know the combination of the two. They just want your money. They don't really care about the afterthought if you got anything from it. I never want to have that feeling again as a networker. I want to make sure I'm getting the most amount of extraction of opportunity with the right people for my time or my money. And if I don't see that, you're not going to see me again. And if you ask me, I need to be quick-witted and being honest from a constructive and professional perspective. Your event was terrible. You didn't recognize anybody in the room. Why would I give you $5 or 500? Real simple. Felix, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to mastering your real estate networking skills.
Felipe Senior. Management.
Felix, thank you as always. And Felix, I've known for 20 years. Okay, so, and at the end of the day, when I was hitting up the Baltimore market, I really wasn't getting connected. It wasn't working for me. I wasn't feeling the vibe. As soon as I saw Felix, I put him in play with the parties may be, and now look where he's going with all of it. He's hosting a happy hour event with one of the guys. He's now helping reconstruct the educational one every month. I didn't see a cost benefit for me to be down there. I didn't find value, but I found value for somebody like Felix who's boots on the ground. Maybe he can put together some white label opportunities working together. So like I have to think outside the box with contacts that I have and trust and seeing hopefully they'll be able to put together some business where we can work together in the future. And it's also about grammar, right? And a clearer follow-up, right? Being more professional in the wording of talking to people. You know, that and then that transition in staying in touch with them and that stronger business purpose. It's very important. I can't tell you enough. Like the moderators we have on here right now, I can walk into any room and work that room with them and perfect networking. No problem. And we could hand people back and forth from a networking perspective when they had their couple minutes. Hey, Joe, you want to meet this person? They do this and this. Hey, Melissa, or hey, Steve, or hey, Dave, or hey, Felix. Perfecting your networking, being the perfect networker, you will master your industry, no matter what lane you pick in that industry. It's about calendar. It's about focus. It's about being on time or being early, really, to be a gracious host of an event that you're not even a host of. But the follow-up is so important. I don't think people are getting it, that the follow-up is the most important piece. You got to get back to people. Like right now, I'm going through all my LinkedIn messages from people. Some are a waste of time. They're just trying to hit me up for marketing. But some of the people are following up from events I met them this past week. Get to it. It's not that hard. This is something else I pride myself on. Every morning, I wish everybody a happy birthday that I'm connected to on my 3 Facebook profiles. Why? It's just a great gesture to do. And it's something to be continuous with and consistent with. People appreciate that. Take the minute and wish everybody a happy birthday. You like it when they wish you a happy birthday. Little things that make a difference. Putting a motivational video out every morning. Putting out some content on education or insight to your industry. Writing up a newsletter. These are things that tie back to mastering your networking skills. All of it. It's a conversation piece when you meet people. Hey, would you love to come onto my podcast? Hey, would you like to collaborate on a network, on a newsletter? Can I tag you on a newsletter based on the conversation we're having? Yeah, sure, that I really appreciate that. Hey, thank you for saying happy birthday to me last week. No problem. Everything going well? It's a great starter conversation, re-engaging with somebody. All these little pieces that I do, I feel like lead to the inbound lead generation of opportunity. I can tell you for a fact, I just closed close to a $2 million loan from a referral through Clubhouse. Right? Hey, it was just a great conversation. Put me in touch with the right person. We had a great conversation with the right person. We closed. Done. It was a blanket loan. I think it was like 12 properties. It was great. Everybody's happy. He was a very detailed client. We were very detailed to operations. Hopefully, he gave good feedback to the referral source. I will send a gift certificate to that individual that sent me that referral. Done. Next. Recognize it. Definitely send a referral fee. So my final thoughts to our discussion today. And real estate deals may begin with properties and numbers, but business is ultimately built through people. Your next lender, partner, buyer, seller, contractor, mentor, referral source may come from a conversation you haven't had yet. The goal isn't to collect the most context, it's to build relationships where trust, credibility, and value flow both ways. A few principles: lead with value, follow up with consistently, Be specific about what you do and what you're looking for. Protect your reputation. Don't wait until you need something to network. Take action today. Your network becomes your net worth when relationships turn into trust. Trust turns into opportunities. For the Creative Bird community, the challenge is simple. Don't just leave today's room with more information. Leave with a commitment to start more conversations, create more values, and build relationships that can grow into deals, partnerships, and long-term success. So these are some thoughts that I think make a lot of sense. And my quote, and hold up, I'm having another problem. Hold on, there you go.
Technical difficulties.
Oh my God, you ain't kidding, man. This is just.
You know, I give grace to anybody with technical difficulties
Oh.
in this day and age because I've seen it happen to the best of them.
Oh my goodness! Oh, there was technical difficulties on that call on Friday, but that's a whole nother discussion. Yeah. So,
Yep.
and some thoughts here to finish off the room. The common denominator in success is hunger. Not a hunger for more things, more status, or more recognition, but a hunger to do more and give more and be more. The most successful people never stop asking, how can I contribute more? How can I serve more? How can I become a person capable of making a greater impact? True hunger isn't materialistic. It's the relentless desire to grow so you can give more back. We got some great events coming up in Dallas, St. Pete's, the Poconos, Philadelphia. We have an underwriting course coming up in September, a white label course you should attend. There's more information coming online that wasn't at the last class. Things are evolving in the private lending space. We're here every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., first and third Sunday every morning on the Clubhouse group. And then we have it nationally throughout all our websites, as you could hear all the back channeling. So we're here to provide a consistent theme of networking, strategy, and connection. And I think the discussion today, mastering your real estate networking skills, tied right back into a bow. This is Joe Scarice, co-founder and co-host of the podcast. I want to thank our moderators this morning, Dave Bergio, Stephen Franco, Felix Buchanan, Melissa King. Great subject matter, great discussion. And we'll be ending the room in the next 30 seconds. And have a great week.
Everybody have a great week.